Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the class of 11th English Medium. The subject is Statistics, Chapter 5, Skewness of Frequency Distribution, brought to you by Vitan Sir. In the previous chapter which we studied, what we discussed was measures of dispersion. Now I am going to start with a new chapter, that is skewness of a frequency distribution. The measures of central tendency, the measures of dispersion and the skewness are the three connected measures for the verification of the data which we are going to use in the future. Let's see what Connor says about it. Measure of skewness indicates the tendency of the group to depart from symmetry. It is said by the Connor, a very well-known statistician. The measure of skewness indicates the tendency of the group to depart from symmetry. Now you might think, what is this symmetry? I will come to that later. Measure of central tendency gives us an idea about average value of the given data. We studied that in the third chapter. That central tendency gives us an average value of the data. Measures of dispersion, the fourth chapter, shows how this data is distributed around the measure of central tendency. Means how this data, how well this data is distributed or how far it is from the measure of central tendency. This information is still incomplete. This data can be represented as a frequency curve on a graph paper, and then the shape and the slope of this frequency curve gives us the remaining data, the remaining information about the given survey or the given information. So this, the deciding of the shape and slope of a frequency curve, is basically calculating the skewness. Let's see. Symmetric frequency distribution. I just used the word symmetry. Let's see what is a symmetric frequency distribution. When you draw your frequency curve on a graph paper and you get a curve similar to this, we call this a symmetric frequency distribution. Now this central value of the symmetric frequency distribution falls at 800 value, and if you want to calculate the mean, median and mode from the data, you will see that all of those values are exactly 800 here. Also, if you calculate the first quartile and the third quartile here, first quartile will be 600 and third quartile will be 1000. I am not going very deep into the calculations right now, but I am just telling you guys that the mean, median and mode are same for this kind of a distribution, that is 800. The first quartile is 600 and the third quartile is 1000. You can see that the distance of first quartile and third quartile from the central value is equal. Okay, 600 and 1000, and at the exact middle is the value 800. So this is called a symmetric frequency distribution. You can see that curve gradually goes up and in the similar manner goes down. The mean, median and mode are equal and at the exact middle of the curve, and first and third quartiles are at equal distance from the mean, median and mode. So this kind of a distribution, we call it a symmetric frequency distribution. Let's see its characteristics. The characteristics of the symmetric frequency distribution. The first one, mean, median and mode are equal, that is x bar is equal to m is equal to mo. The first quartile and the third quartile are at equal distance from median, so the distance from median is also equal. Median is the central value, so 600 and 1000 are at an equal distance from 800. Frequency curve of the distribution is bell shaped. Now this is the kind of a bell shaped curve. Doesn't matter how thin or wide the bell is, it is still called a bell shaped curve. And the frequency of the observations at equal distance on both the side of mode are equal. Now this means that, let's take 400 for an instance. 400 is less by 400 to 800. So if I add 400 into the 800, I get 1200. So the frequency of 400 and 1200 are equal. If you want to check it on the graph paper. frequency of 200 and 1400 are equal, frequency of 600 and 1000 are also equal. So frequencies of the observations on both the side of the mode which are at equal distance, the frequency of those observations are also equal. Okay, so these are the characteristics of the symmetric frequency distribution. Naturally, not all the distributions which we have are symmetric distributions, and thus the distribution which is not symmetric is called skewed distribution. We can say that for skewed distribution we have the following characteristics. Mean, median and mode are not equal. The first quartile and third quartile are not at equal distance from median. The right or left tail of frequency curve is more elongated, that is stretched. Right now you can see that left curve and the right curve of the distribution are at equal lengths, but when it is not symmetric, one of the tails is more stretched out or it is lengthier than the other tail. The frequency of the observations at equal distance on both the sides of mode are not equal. So obviously for a skewed distribution, all the characteristics are the opposite of the symmetric distribution. Now I will just define then what is the skewness. The frequency distribution with lack of symmetry is called skewed frequency distribution. Thus, lack of symmetry is called skewness. My dear students, this is the definition of skewness which you should remember and write down in your notebooks. There are two types of skewnesses: positive skewness and negative skewness. Remember this. Let's check what is the meaning of positive skewness. As you can see from the curve, in a positively skewed curve, you can see that first the frequency rapidly rises and then gradually falls down. That means in the positive skewness, the frequency is high in the beginning and then gradually it diminishes. That means the left side of the curve is straight going upwards, while the right side of curve stretches a lot on the lower side of the graph. Now in this kind of situations, various measures are calculated. I have used the actual data to depict this curve and calculate these measures here, and the measures which I have calculated is first one the x bar, then the mode. Mode is the value with the highest point of the curve, that means the highest frequency. Then I have median, then I have first quartile and the third quartile. Now from this data you can see that mean, median and mode are not equal. Also mode has the lowest value, median is a bit bigger, and x bar has the highest value among the three. Q3 and Q1 don't have equal distance from the median, rather Q3 has a longer distance while Q1 has a shorter distance from the median. So we will write down these things which I just said in points. So these will be the characteristics of the positively skewed distribution or the positive skewness. Mean, median and mode have value in descending order, that is x bar is greater than median which is greater than mode. Second characteristic, the distance of third quartile from median is more than the distance of first quartile from median. Symbolically, Q3 minus m is greater than m minus Q1. The right tail of the frequency curve is more elongated, which we call the stretched. So these are the three characteristics of a positively skewed distribution. At the exact opposite of it, we have a negatively skewed distribution. As you can see from the diagram, a negatively skewed distribution naturally is the opposite of the positively skewed distribution. Here the left side of the curve is more stretched and gradually slow by slow rises and then rapidly falls on the right hand side of the curve. As you can see here, the various measures are these: the x bar, the median, the mode. Here the exact opposite is seen, that mode has the highest value, then comes median, then comes mean. Also, the distance of Q3 to M is less than the distance from Q1 to M. So I will put these things into words. Mean, median and mode have a value in ascending order. That means mean has the lowest value, mean which is less than median, which is in turn less than mode. So mode has the highest value. The distance of third quartile from median is less than the distance of first quartile from median, that is Q3 minus M is less than M minus Q1. As you can see from the diagram itself, that the distance is less between median and Q3 and it is more between M and Q1. And the last characteristic, the left tail of the frequency curve is more elongated, that is stretched. The left side of the curve is more stretched than the right side of the curve. So after talking about the skewness and the types of skewness, that is positive and negative skewness, let's start with the absolute and relative measure of skewness, because we will be calculating skewness. In the measure of dispersion we had absolute and relative measures, and we have something similar in the measure of skewness too. Absolute measure of skewness: a measure of skewness which is expressed in a same unit in which the observations are expressed, that is kg, liter, meter, etc., is called an absolute measure of skewness. Now this measure cannot be used for the comparison purpose. Reason being that the units of different data may differ, thus we cannot compare these two sets of data. And for the purpose of comparison, we can't use absolute measure of skewness. For that purpose, we have another type. We call this relative measure of skewness. A measure of skewness which is free from the units of measurement is called a relative measure of skewness. The variability of two or more sets of data can only be compared using the relative measure of skewness, because it is free from units and therefore there is no problem of different measurement units. Now, finally, the methods of finding skewness. The first method of calculating skewness is Karl Pearson's method, and second method of calculating skewness is Bowley's method. But I will be resting today here. I have explained you what is a symmetrical distribution, what is a skewness, positive skewed distribution and negatively skewed distribution, the absolute and the relative measures of skewness, and the names of the methods of finding skewness. In my next video, I will be discussing Karl Pearson's method of calculating skewness, absolute and relative both. And I will also be solving the first exercise of this chapter, that is exercise 5.1, in my next video. So study this video properly, understand the basic concept of skewness, write down the necessary notes, and wait for my next tutorial so that I can explain you guys how do we actually calculate skewness and how do we interpret this skewness in the practical methods. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will be seeing you in my next tutorial. Welcome students to With Answers Unacount Academy. That's better way to success for you. I am Vitan Vora and I teach accountancy, statistics and social science. You can contact me on my cell number 919426310184. Please give a sub to my channel and also check out my other video playlist which you can see on the screen. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.